Some of you might be asking, Micah, why is this episode called Ad Victorium? Why are you playing the Fallout theme in the background? Etc, etc. I thought you beat that game already. I did! I felt like killing mutants. So let's talk about it. My name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, and oh god, we're going to talk about Fallout, aren't we?
You're goddamn right we are. Welcome to Micah and the Hatman. Ad Victorium. Hatman.
Yes.
Before I talk about nuclear wastelands, tell me about
Nuclear wastelands?
Yes. Tell me about Eric Bana and Brad Pitt and that one time they fought.
Troy's a good movie. Troy's an underrated movie. I don't know why people don't talk about this when talking about like historical films that cover like ancient Greece and shit. Because this is a good movie. It's got like basically an all-star cast. And everyone's at the top of their game. Except maybe Orlando Bloom, who kind of comes off as a little bitch.
Real quick, like, let's roll through the cast here. Because people don't know, like, how much of an ensemble this was at the time. Because this came out in, what, 03?
Yeah.
03, 04, something like that?
03 or 04, something like that.
Because
Yeah,
I know I was in high school. But yeah, you've got Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
You've got Eric Bana, who at the time was pretty popular. You have Orlando Bloom. This is when he was coming into his, like, popularity. You have Peter O'Toole. Lawrence of fucking Arabia.
Yep.
Who else was in this? Then there was a couple of guys that are kind of your, like, sword and sandal typical dudes. Brian Cox was one of them. Who's the other guy who played Mad Eye Moody? Brian Dennehy.
Brendan Gleeson.
Oh, Brendan Gleeson. Sorry, not Brian Dennehy. Brian Dennehy is...
Julian Glover is in it, too.
Yeah.
Julian Glover being the villain from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah.
And also Admiral Veers, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
General Veers, sorry. Yeah, Orlando Bloom is in it as well.
Tyler Mane.
Diane Kruger.
Tyler Mane is in it. For those who don't know, Tyler Mane played Sabretooth in the X-Men films. He before Liev Schreiber did. And he also is Michael Myers.
Yep. Sean Bean also shows up, and he doesn't die in this
Yes!
movie.
This is one of the movies Sean Bean doesn't die in. And they were supposed to do a spin-off of The Odyssey with him, and I'm mad that they never got around to it. He was actually really good in this movie. He is phenomenal as Odysseus.
Awesome. Yeah. That would have been really, really fucking cool to get. Yeah,
he is legitimately one of my favorite actors ever.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's great. But no, this movie is really fucking underrated. Like it had a little bit of pomp when it came out, if only for the cast, and then it just kind of faded into obscurity. And I don't understand why. I guess because like all the historical epics that were coming out at the time, like Alexander and Kingdom of Heaven and shit, and this one kind of got lumped in with all those and like dragged down as a result. But no, Troy is really fucking good. I mean, it doesn't follow. It doesn't follow the Iliad exactly.
It removes the gods.
It does take some. Yeah. Yes, and it takes some creative liberties too. Like Menelaus gets killed in the movie, and he doesn't.
Yeah, Menelaus lived. Tyler Mane's character.
Well, he lived until he got killed by his wife. So
yeah. Tyler Mane's character, whose name escapes me at the moment.
I'm fucking. Who are you thinking of?
God, I can't think of his name. Who was
Who's
it?
The character?
Tyler Mane's character, big dude, with the hammer.
No, Menelaus does get killed in
Menelaus.
It's Agamemnon that doesn't get killed.
Yes, Agamemnon lives. But, what is his name? Ajax. Ajax doesn't die in the war either. He dies on the way home. He falls off a ship and drowns.
Yep.
But they needed somebody for Hector to kill to make him seem like a badass, so they picked him. In a good fight. I will give it that. It was a good fight.
At least it's not Caligula.
Yeah. Real quick, somebody threw in $5. Bobcat throws in favorite flub in Troy. There was a llama in the background in one scene. No llamas come from South America. Well, you mean...
Yep. That's funny.
Oh, yeah. So, but anyway. It's your review, not mine. Even though I do like this movie.
Yeah.
Did you watch the theatrical cut or the director's cut?
I watched the director's cut.
Okay, yeah, that one's much better.
Yeah, I agree. This was the first time that I've seen the director's cut. Yes, I do think it's better. I think it's paced a little bit better, to be perfectly honest.
Yes, I would agree.
But no, it's honestly it's a solid fucking movie. Yeah, more people need to watch this. If only for the fact that it does more things right than it does wrong. And yeah, like I think the gold standard of, ancient historical movies is Gladiator.
Yeah.
This is on up there though.
I would think that's part of the reason that people don't take this movie as seriously is because Gladiator came out 2 or 3 years prior.
Yeah.
Was still on the front of everyone's minds and was a Best Picture winner. And deservedly so, it was the best movie that year. Gladiator it's my favorite film of all time. I fucking love that movie. I'm thinking, honestly, because I'm thinking of like posters to put like there and on that wall. I'm thinking Gladiator is going to be one of them. So, anyway, continue.
When did Alexander come out?
05, I think. I know that one was when I was in college.
Yeah, so that one. I know Kingdom of Heaven came out in 05.
Yeah.
And that's not like, ancient history, but that's still, kind of close. That's the Crusades.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Troy kind of gets lumped in with Kingdom of Heaven and Alexander too much, and it doesn't deserve to be. Like, yeah, not as good as Gladiator, but I would at least say like it's a step beneath it. Like it's good.
The director's cut comes
really
a lot
good.
closer than people will give it credit for.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. And a lot of the effects too were practical. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't use a whole hell of a lot of CG for this, which is kind of fucking phenomenal when you think about it. Yeah, I know 04, but when you think to the fucking scale that you've got to use for ancient warfare, holy shit.
Yeah. They had a lot of extras for this film. Like,
oh yeah.
So obviously you recommend this. I'm going to second your recommendation because
this is a thumbs up by far.
Yeah. Like again, Gladiator is my favorite film of all time but as far as Sword and Sandal goes, this is pretty up there. Like I'm not going to throw it up there with Spartacus or Ben-Hur or Braveheart, but I would still say it's really good, Yeah.
Fun fact before I turn it over to you. This was the first R-rated movie that I ever saw in theaters.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting. Servant throws in a buck
my mom
and says,
asked if I wanted to go see it with me, and I did.
Servant says movies that also have an extended cut, director's cut, Independence Day, Stargate, Live Free or Die Hard, among others. Very true. Holy Ninja Toe says, does Troy have the gods in it? No. Is it? Oh, no. This is him ranting. It says, is it accurate to the source material? No, don't care. Why Troy isn't popular with history and mythology nuts who are more nitpicky when it comes to film than Micah with anime. Speaking as a history and mythology nut. Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like when people, my history teachers in college hated it and in high school hated it. I had a history teacher that I actually got into a debate with in college about the movie. Because I kept saying over and over again, I'm like, yes, that's the point. The filmmaker even said he didn't want the gods in it. He wanted it to seem like a fight between men, not gods. And it's an interesting take. It's not supposed to be the Iliad, in a sense. Which is something that I find interesting. Let's see here. Have I ever seen the Gladiator extended cut? Nope. Probably don't. I don't really plan on it. Gladiator is a film that is very close to my heart for very specific reasons that I don't really disclose. So, I'll probably only ever watch the theatrical version. So there's a nostalgia element in it for me that I don't want to talk about. I don't want to get blubbery live, So, all right, my turn. So Fallout 4.
War never changes.
Yes, I love Fallout. The very first Fallout game I played was 3, and then I went back and played the old ones because I loved 3 so much. I remember just loving the atmosphere of it. And Fallout 4 was an interesting one for me. Because I went and I came into it as a big fan of the franchise, and then was curious about it because the way that they were wanting to go with things felt very interesting. It's like, all right, we're going to add in this element of villages that you can build. And there was like basically a level of customizability to it that you didn't really get with previous installments. Like some of the weapon customizability was there from New Vegas, but it wasn't as crazy as it was in this game. Real quick, I missed a donation apparently, so give me 1 second. 420 Gunny says, throws in a buck and says, gotta say Paris is one of the biggest douchebags in history because the 10-year war just to have another man's woman in his bed. Oh yeah, Paris sucks. So Fallout 4, I would imagine that a lot of people in the chat have already played it. This game's been out for a while now. I don't actually remember what year it came out. I can look that up real quick. But it's been a while. I was an early adopter of this one. I bought it on day one. I don't think I pre-ordered it, but I know I bought it on day one. PC version, Natch. But, yeah, 2015. So this game's 6 years old. And I will say, I've actually played through it in most of the routes that you can play it. This time I did it and went full Brotherhood of Steel, which is why this episode's called Ad Victorium. Like, I have all the DLC. I bought the season pass even. I was an early adopter of that too. I fucking annihilated every single goddamn synth in this game, except for one that I encountered, and that was because he's like the best companion in the game, whose name escapes me at the moment. But Paladin Dance is the only one I didn't kill, and I didn't get Curie yet, so that's why she's still alive. But everybody else, and Curie is my other favorite companion too. So, because she just gives you stim packs. She's great. But, I fucking annihilated everything. I even played the Far Harbor expansion. And my job was to rescue a little girl, or a girl for the Sith Enclave. And I played buddy-buddy with them. I played their game. I did everything that they wanted me to do. I was their friend. I really was. Until the girl went home. Then I went to the Brotherhood. And then I charged their base in a set of T-60B power armor with a goddamn minigun and the Brotherhood of Steel behind me, and I wiped every fucking one of them off the face of the goddamn earth. I'm gonna pull a Mike Perry here. You thought you had a friend, boy! Ah!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was awesome. I played the RoboCop theme in the background while I slaughtered them. So, oh no, Nick Valentine lived. I preserved Nick Valentine, but and I even took Nick Valentine with me to go make friends with all of them. But I didn't take him with me when I killed them all. So yes, I got a lot of enjoyment out of that, because the fact of the matter though is like, if you play Far Harbor, the Sith Enclave is actually like, they don't deserve, or at least Dima does not deserve to stick around. I was happy to get rid of him. And then I went and I slaughtered the entirety of the Brotherhood of Adam too. Just destroyed them. Because like, you want to spread nuclear radiation over this entire island? Fuck you. And just burn minigun. You know. The other gimmick is that I played this as me, meaning like I looked like I do right now. I even wore glasses for most of the run, and my specialties in it were hand-to-hand combat, because I'm a boxer. My main weapon for a while was a power fist, and then I switched to a Deathclaw gauntlet because that's the better weapon. Handguns and automatic rifles. So, and then I just used a lot of fucking power armor too. I went through a lot of fusion cores, but I know where all the power armor is, so I never really was short on it. Needless to say, though, I had a lot of fun with it. Going back to it, the only thing that I have a problem with is the perk system. A couple donations. Bobcat throws in a buck, says, Paris the city sucks, Paris the Trojan sucks, coincidence? I think not. Servant throws in 5 and says, for those wondering, the first SpongeBob movie was up for a vote for movie night. It won by a landslide. To see it next Thursday, join Micah's Patreon at the $1 or $5 levels. Also, the plan is for a Godzilla marathon for the Godzilla vs. Kong release. This is true. The link is in the description, guys. Chaos Sonic throws in a bucket and says, there was a cut mission from Fallout 4 where you could challenge Arthur Maxon to take control of the Brotherhood as a Supreme Commander. I wish that you could do that with the Paladin Dance storyline. I wish they had restored that. But I convinced him to let Dance live. So, because the other thing is that my specialties stats-wise were charisma, strength, and endurance, just for the hit points, basically. And since everybody knows me, my luck score was a 3. My intelligence was high too, but I didn't want to, be a dick. But regardless, it was a lot of fun. The issue that I have with it, I am not of the opinion that Fallout 4 suffered because it's a less complex game. And I am not one of those people who thinks that complexity means that something is good when it comes to RPGs. Am I playing the role? My problem with it was the level cap on the perks, because they didn't have a level cap on perks before this. So I modded that out. I think that was like one of the biggest mistakes they made. I love how power armor feels in this. I love the customizability. I love the village building. Like, all the rest of the elements I really enjoy. The storyline does not fit exploration that well, because it kind of pushes for you to complete the main quest because of the severity of it, and the stakes. I mean, you're trying to find your fucking child, So, yeah. Needless to say, I have fun with it. I enjoy Fallout 4. If you like a lot of the stuff that I recommend this too. So I don't care what everybody else's, like all the other YouTubers think about it. I care about what I care about. I told Hardboiled this before the Snyder Cut review. I'm like, dude, if I gave one flying fuck about what other reviewers said about things, I wouldn't be one myself. So, all right. Two truths and a lie before we get to this one. It's my turn.
Yep.
Hatman, pick a topic.
Well, let me ask you this: how many bands have you seen live?
I couldn't count. But let's do that. Let's do bands I have seen live.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I have seen Machine Head live. I have seen Megadeth live. I have seen... Actually, no, let me start over. Okay. I have seen Megadeth live. I have seen Skillet live. I have seen Machine Head live. So curious to see what you think is the lie. Curious to see what the chat thinks.
Hold on, I didn't hear what the last one was. I heard Megadeth, Skillet, and then cut out.
Machine Head.
Machine Head.
Majority in the chat seem to think Skillet.
I'm leaning that way too, but I almost remember a conversation that we had about Skillet, but I don't remember if it was you talking about how you saw them or me talking about how I saw them, because I have seen them live. I don't know. I'm going to go with chat and say Skillet.
Wrong. I've met them. Not only have I seen them live, I saw them live on their first album tour. And I met them.
Nice.
Because it was part of a larger concert thing, and me and some of my buddies were standing around their merch tent. And they came up to us and started chatting it up with us. And then they signed our shirts and stuff. So really cool, super down-to-earth guys and gal, because the lead singer and his wife are both in the band. Awesome dudes. And I've actually been a fan of theirs ever since. Believe it or not. I actually do like Skillet. I have not seen Megadeth.
Interesting.
Yep. So, yeah. Never saw Megadeth live.
Yeah, Skillet was a good act when I went to see him.
Yeah, they're one of the few butt rock bands that I actually enjoy. I still listen to the album Collide fairly regularly. That's a really good album in my opinion. Not a big fan of everything they do, but some of their albums I've really fucking enjoyed. So, Skillet's first album was in the early 90s. Yes. I'm old, remember? I'm 35, guys. I don't look it, but I am 35. I was a pretty young teenager when I met him.
Yeah, I think it was it was either 2011 or 2012 when I went to see them.
Yeah. Alien Youth.
So yeah, it was...
I don't remember. I think their first album was self-titled, but I don't even think Alien Youth had come out yet. So... But yeah, and my uncle was one of the organizers of the event that I was at, and he knows their manager, so. All right, 6 Days in Fallujah.
Fallujah.
whatever. The
Sorry,
I know I keep doing it. 6 Days in Fallujah. So we talked about the fact we're excited about this coming out finally. I remember when it was first announced, like back in like 08, 09. And it's finally going to happen. And now game journalists are trying to get it destroyed again. Now they're trying to say that it's racist, that it's anti-Iraqi. I'm going to say this right now. Iraq was not a nice place when the events that this game is covering happened. The people who were firing on Marines were not just people trying to defend their homes. I'm sorry. You might disagree with the Iraq War. That's fine. We can have that discussion. But let's not pretend that Iraq and some of the people that we were fighting there were hunky-dory people. I fucking hate historical revisionists. Fucking hate it. If you're gonna sit there and act like Saddam Hussein was an okay guy, don't reproduce, please. I'm gonna ask you right now, please, to not reproduce. Don't. Just don't.
No.
We don't know. Those genes do not need to be passed on. So yeah. So there's people that are saying that it's racist somehow.
They're trotting out the Jack Thompson argument too.
Yeah, exactly. And it is disgusting to me. This is art.
Like,
First Amendment, motherfuckers.
Disbarred. Jack Thompson got disbarred 13 years ago. Seriously, that's how long it's been since we've heard from his stupid ass. And there is literally a petition right now with 4,700 signatures that says this game is going to breed a new generation of mass shooters in America, quote unquote. Fucking was I in a coma for the last 13 years?
I don't know.
Or is it just that the optics are now right? Fucking unfucking believable. What gets me even more is the fact that the names that are attached to this petition are they're not small fucking people. They're not game journalists either. These are fucking like people with names in the fucking industry. Like, these are people who create the games that we love that are saying, not only is it okay to censor another game because it's offensive to us, but it is okay to petition the government. I want to clarify that. The government to intervene to censor this game. What the fuck? I've got no fucking words. I've got fucking nothing.
It's ridiculous to me. Couple donations to read real quick. Servant throws in a buck and says, game journals are trash confirmed. As usual, fuck them. Bobcat throws in a buck and says, 6 Days in Fallujah, the release flew past my radar. Everybody shame Bobcat for that. Chaos Sonic asks, throws in a buck, asks, did you kill your Sean after the reveal that he was the Institute leader? Blew him the fuck up. So, yeah. Jennifer Hale signed it too. Like, the fact that artists...
Fuck, I was so disappointed.
I'm going to just say this. If you are an artist... It's one thing, like, if you're an artist and you try to cancel someone, you're a scumbag. Because that's anti-consumer practice as far as I'm concerned, because you're trying to get rid of your competition. If you are advocating for the government to censor something as an artist, you are basically selling yourself into slavery. You are making yourself basically bow to the whims of the government because you're offended. In which case, you shouldn't be an artist. You should be flipping burgers.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing's preposterous to me. This game deserves to exist.
It does. It does. And I don't even remember this level of outrage when fucking Hatred was in development, when that was announced. Like, sure, I remember there being outrage, but not to the level of we need to intervene to prevent this game from being released, period. Like, there was an argument being made generally that, yes, this game deserves to exist. It's terrible, but it deserves to exist. And now we're past that point. We're at the point where some games are more free expression than others. Just fuck that. Fuck that. If goddamn Depression Quest, which is hardly a fucking game, is allowed to exist, this is allowed to fucking exist.
Yeah.
Like, we don't
would
have to like this shit.
Yeah. I'll even go with a more extreme example. A Serbian film is allowed to exist.
Mm. Yeah.
Not to mention, actually, you know what? That's my final point on it. Honestly, this whole thing's fucking disgusting to me. Chaos Sonic throws in a buck and says, "War was never nice. Both sides committed atrocities in any war. And Jack Thompson, as well as a Floridian, I say he can get screwed with the devil's pitchfork. Same with Anita and the other people that promote censorship of video games." Yeah, I agree. Also, guys, we have 56 people in here. The show was almost over, and we only got 16 likes. Don't be fucking Steve. Hit that like button.
No, don't be fucking Steve.
So,
I bet he signed that goddamn petition.
I bet.
Like, asshole Steve.
All right. So there is a trailer for a Suicide Squad movie called The Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Hatman, what did you think of this?
It definitely does give off a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe. And frankly, I'm a little bit worried just because of the size of the cast, that it's not going to be able to pull it off completely. And I know you mentioned, like, before the show started, that they're probably just going to start killing people off to cut the number down. But damn, that's fucking huge. And, like, my big issue with the first Suicide Squad was, yeah, there's a lot of people to fucking keep up with right now. And this one is like, there's twice as many people to fucking keep up with. And it looks like they're gonna, like, cut the squad in half and just, you know, follow an A team, B team throughout the movie, which I guess makes things a little easier to comprehend. But still, though, like, damn. Also, fucking Starro the Conqueror? Are you shitting me? What the fuck?
Yeah, this...
I'm I'm both surprised and disappointed that he's in a Suicide Squad movie and not a Justice League movie. But at the same time, it's fucking Starro.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting him at all.
Yeah. On the screen, I mean, you can see Polka Dot Man, Idris Elba as, I forget the name of the character he's playing. It's a lesser known villain. And then some chick. I'm told that John Cena is there as Peacemaker, but I can't see him. I had to make the joke. Bloodsport, that's it. Bloodsport is the guy who Idris Elba is playing. And yeah, Sly Stallone is King Shark, who is kind of the Groot of the movie, it looks like. I'll be honest, this looks like Suicide Squad of the Galaxy, but I'm kind of okay with that.
I'm okay with it too.
Given how grimdark fucking Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League is, I'm really looking forward to something to laugh at, honestly, from DC. Like, dear God. God, I'm still stuck in my craw about that. And the funny thing about the Suicide Squad is you can kind of do anything you want with the format. You could do a super serious movie, or you could do a goofy movie like this. And honestly, as long as it's fun, I think that's kind of what the DCEU needs right now, is just to have a series of fun movies. Yeah. Aquaman, I am told, was really fun. I'm told Shazam was a lot of fun too. You know.
Oh God, yes, Shazam's the best one.
I did not watch whatchamacallit. Wonder Woman 84, kind of not interested in it, honestly, which is kind of sad because I really like the first Wonder Woman movie. But this I'm really interested in. This I think I'm going to see in theaters once they reopen, because it looks like fun, you know? And ultimately that's kind of what they need to do, you know? Enough of it. Come on, Micah, there was quite a bit of humor in Zack's JL. No, not Flash is not funny. The only thing funny was how stupid his run looked. That movie was grimdark as fuck. So, no, keep grimdark away from the Justice League, please. Please. So, alright. Real quickly, read a couple donations, then it's on to the Q&A. Let's see. Brainbox throws in $5 and says, a joke. Dude wakes up from a coma and there's no calendar in the room. No doctor is in the room to tell him. He finds out that he's at least past the year 2011. How? Because Jennifer Hale isn't in every other AAA video game release. Damn. Also, SGD is in the chat. Today's his birthday, by the way, guys. So everybody wish SGD a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Alright. So, Two Truths and a Lie. No, actually, $60 is the next one, I think. Yeah, we did the one at 45. So, also, let's not pick fights in the fucking chat, guys. Come on. Changus, I'm looking at you. Let it go. Go take a walk if you're in one of those moods. Alright. Let's hit the Q&A real quick. Actually, no, we just got another donation. Damn it. Okay, then we'll hit the Q&A. Fuckers. He says, Shazam is the one most worth your time. The villain is a ringer for Stefan Molyneux, which is fitting. That's funny. Diva Night Rose wants to know, what are some of your guilty pleasure shows, games, and comics? I'm curious to know. Let's see here. She says, for example, she has this game called The Arcana by extremely left-leaning liberals. Its lore is based on tarot cards and their archetypes. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, TV show that's a guilty pleasure? Pee-wee's Playhouse.
That's a guilty pleasure, really?
It was because this will explain a lot. A lot of guys, people my age, the show they watched was either Sesame Street or Barney, right? And you can kind of tell who the Barney kids were. You can kind of tell who the Sesame Street kids were. I was a Pee-wee's Playhouse kid.
I watched Pee-wee's Playhouse too when I was growing up. That's the best part.
That's part of the reason why everybody thought I was a wild man, is my dad made the mistake of letting me watch Pee-wee's Playhouse. So,
see, and this was like well after the whole, jerking off in a porno theater thing. So these were, old reruns by that point. And
my introduction to Lawrence Fishburne was as Cowboy Curtis.
Cowboy Curtis.
Daddy, he's got my name.
Oh man.
Is he related to us?
Yeah, no, that was great. Pee-wee Irving,
my dad looks at his extremely pale child and goes, "No, son, he's not." Holy Ninja wants to know. Wait, we got to keep going. Games? Like, is there a game that's a guilty pleasure of mine? Not really. I don't think that there's a game I played that I'm like ashamed that I ever played it. Comics? Bomb Queen. Bomb Queen is my guilty pleasure, comic book wise. You look it up and you'll see why.
I've only got one, and it's a show. Guilty pleasure show is Ancient Aliens.
Of course you.
I both love and hate that goddamn show.
I am not surprised. Holy News Show wants to know, if you have a story idea that you want to write, but you don't know if it can produce, would it be a good idea to make a 30-page webcomic and see if there's an audience for the project? Maybe? I mean, my whole thing is I just put stuff out into the ether. If I have an audience, which I do, I would just throw the idea out there, see if it's something that people would say they would buy. You can do it that way, but if you're just writing it, you're gonna have to get an artist for it. You're gonna have to pay them, unless they're just as in on the thing as you are, which that can end in disaster too. But you can. I'm not saying don't. That's an option. We'll just put it that way. That is an option. I'm not going to shoot you down, but that is something you can do. Servant wants to know, with the obvious hit pieces being put out against the Snyder Cut and the fans, with an AT&T being the type not to put up with the crap Hollywood ideas does, how long until they start removing the morons causing them problems from the executive Warner media? They're not. They already greenlit Ta-Nehisi Coates' Superman, dude.
And they've straight up said they're not doing any more Snyderverse stuff, and the air cut of Suicide Squad is not happening either, and that the fans were lucky to get what we got from Zack Snyder. Yeah. They're not going to work with him again because he gave them a fucking black eye. He bruised their fucking egos. They're not going to do it.
Yeah,
even though it did really good numbers. So no, it's pure ego at this point. No. They don't give a fuck.
SGD asks, is someone getting the best uwu? No. Derek Mozzarella wants to know, what is our favorite Western for both of us?
Star Wars count?
No. Tombstone.
True Grit, but the newer version. I can't say it's a remake because it's based more on the book. Yes, I like that one more. I like controversial. I like Jeff Bridges as Rooster Cogburn more than John Wayne.
Very controversial. Because True Grit has my favorite line ever when you're getting ready for a fight. Fill your hand, you son of a bitch. Fill your
hand, you son of a bitch. Yep.
Let's see here. Bobcat throws in $3, says, if you rip off Ancient Aliens for a sci-fi novel, they sue you for plagiarism. What about defense be? I thought you said it was history. Well... Pillars of the Gods already exist, though, and that's where that shit comes from. So, technically speaking, Ancient Aliens is ripping off of fucking Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Xenonick wants to know, what DCEU movie would you want to see that doesn't focus on the main Justice League team? Green Lantern.
So a Green Lantern movie?
I want a Green Lantern movie with Hal and John as your main dudes. Sadly, Idris Elba can't play him because he's already cast to somebody else. But, because Idris would be one of my picks for Jon Stewart. Michael B. Jordan would be a good young John if we're gonna make them younger. So, but yeah, I want Green Lantern. I'm still mad that he wasn't in Justice League. I thought it was stupid not to include him.
I want a Static Shock movie or live action series.
In this day and age?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I want it, but I don't want it because I know where it would go. But I've been wanting to see Static in live action since I was a fucking kid. So, yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I want it, but I would probably hate it if I got it.
Let's see here. Hunter Iggy, we're not getting to the chat yet. We still got patrons Discord stuff to answer. Please be patient. Kit Knightwood wants to know: do you think we've hit peak SJW stupidity? No. How long before we go to greener pastures and entertainment? The only time we're going to go to greener pastures and entertainment is when the money they start picking up on the money is not going towards the social justice shit, and the money is going towards either alternatives to what they're producing or the stuff that doesn't have it. That's basically it. And I've been saying this for years. This is why whenever it comes to the stuff that we're doing, we're begging for people to help us and support it, and it's kind of disappointing when we get questions like that and then people just don't support it. You know, it's like, you've got to support the alternatives or else they're just going to continue to ignore you. You know, vote with your dollar. You know? All right, now to the chat. Let's have a look, see, because there's a lot of them. I know the question that Hunter Iggy had is if I'm ever going to revisit Zeonic Front. We beat that on Graded's channel. Me and Xavier did. So probably not anytime soon. Let's see here. Leonardo Juan wants to know, what is your favorite Musu game? If you, I know what that is Dynasty Warriors.
I don't like them.
Dynasty Warriors
Never
4
really liked Dynasty Warriors.
was my favorite.
Really? Not Dynasty Warriors Gundam?
So, in the words of Dave Grohl, I have a confession to make.
Oh, God.
I've never played them.
We're gonna reference that song twice?
Yeah.
Twice in one stream?
Yeah.
God. Oh, man. Well,
it is a good song. Miguel Barrera wants to know, about 3 Nights, 4 Days, when do you believe they will be shipped out? Well, I gotta get the lettering back first. I would say give it a couple of weeks after we get the lettering, and then we'll send off the print file pretty quickly, because I have to finish the print file for the art book, which I'm halfway done with it, so that'll get done this week.
Yeah.
And then once the letters are done, Hatman and I have to set the print file up for that, and then we'll just place the order for everything right there. So.
Yeah. God.
Because we actually have to set up.
Might be.
We actually have to set up 4 print files. We have to set up because each cover gets its own print file.
No, we have 5.
Both of the Virgins. The
We
normal
have
cover.
5 to do, including the art book. We have 5.
Oh, including the art book, yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's it might be a month at the earliest before they can actually start getting shipped out.
Yeah, but yeah, within a couple of weeks is when we're going to send the print files off. So
yeah, I
we're
mean,
going to try to get those
literally,
out as
the
quick
book
as
is
possible.
almost done. Yeah.
Let's see here. Chunky wants to know. Someone wants wishes Star Wars was owned by Bandai Namco instead of Disney. What do you think? Sorry for the repeat. Well, they already own Gundam, so they might as well. And I prefer Gundam, honestly, at this point to anything Star Wars. I cannot wait for Gundam Hathaway to come out. Anyway, they would definitely handle it a lot better. That's for sure. Let's see here. John Weitzel wants to know, which of these do you think is the best superhero franchise? My Hero Academia, One Punch Man, or the DCEU? One Punch Man, and it ain't even close.
Yeah.
I forgot to go to this for Q&A.
I like One Punch.
Let's see here. Harbold wants to know, issues with the Snyder Cut aside, could you see Ray Fisher as Elijah in a live-action Inglewood? No. Wouldn't be my pick.
Well, really, like, I don't see him as Elijah for the build and the voice, honestly. I don't hear his voice as the Saint's voice in my head.
You need a tall actor to play him. Elijah is a tall guy.
Yeah.
I want you to think about this for a second. Elijah is 6'4". He would tower over Batman. And he's bigger, too. Elijah is 6'4", weighs 240 pounds. He's a big dude. So, Melee Brawler wants to know, have you seen the MCU shows that have come out recently, and what do you think of them? I have not. I still need to watch WandaVision.
I liked WandaVision. It went in a direction that I should have expected, but I wasn't. And I've only seen the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I need to watch the second one. But I'm more interested in that story than I am WandaVision, or was with WandaVision. Mostly because it seems to be more reminiscent of Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and that was like my favorite MCU movie. Fairly certain that that's the one at the top of my list. Either that or Infinity War.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's see here. Crystal Hydra wants to know, have you played the Darksiders games? I played a little bit of the second one and didn't like it. So, not really a fan. Angry Green Boss wants to know, let's say I keep mocking someone in my campaign. I advertise to his or her fans that like his stuff, they'll like mine. Would that look scummy? It's a fine line to walk. So, I will freely admit that part of what I market my own work on is the failures of the mainstream. Because they are doing so badly. You know, it's like, if you want the way that the comics used to be, I'm the guy to come to, you know? On the flip side, though, if it's another person who is actually working hard and trying to do things better and stuff like that, I don't like them, I tend to leave them alone unless they do something to me or one of my friends that is heinous. So, let's see here. Chaos Sonic threw in a couple donations, said, thoughts on Marvel ditching Diamond? It's about time. And then Chaos Sonic says, would you play the original Fallout game? Already have. And I enjoyed it. It was very good. I think the second one's a lot more interesting. Ultimate Agent says Batman has beat guys that are taller than him. Funny thing, so has Elijah. He does it in the first issue. I don't know what your point is. Doctor Doom still is not as good as Thanos, by the way. Canonically, he's not. He needed to be God to finally beat Thanos. Let's see here. So got Chaos Sonics. Alex Ferguson wants to know, which of the Super Robot Wars VT and X games is my favorite? I would probably say it's a tie between V and T, honestly. Because T just has such a unique story to it. It ties all of the different universes together so well. However, V has probably one of the best saga stories I've seen in a long time of getting from point A to B and that journey in between. It's so good. And it also has Evangelion, which that's, and you get to see Shinji when he interacts with people that have gone through similar things to what he has and came out differently, and see what it would basically be like if he had a big brother or big brothers. There's one thing that kind of damns him in Evangelion, and a lot of people who are part of my Discord server that we've been doing this program called MMA Monday, or not MMA, Mecha Mondays, and Evangelion was one of the first shows that we put on, and a lot of people have noticed that too. It's part of what actually hurts Shinji is the fact that he's an only child, with a shitty father. So, Bean has a question in the Discord I missed. Which manga artist would you like to see adapt the entire Bible? Murata, who does One Punch Man. So.
Here I am just imagining that okay panel with Jesus in place of Saitama.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome.
Oh, God. Oh, yes. I want that, actually. I want that.
Before we go, since we're at the end of the show, if you have a question that we did not get the chance to answer during the podcast, please get it to Brainbox. Another thing that I would like you guys to know is this. I know I want to get back to game streaming. If I could trick some people into playing Fallout 76 with me, would you guys watch it? Let me know. But in the meantime, it's time for Two Truths and a Lie with Hatman before we take off.
All right. I'm gonna keep on brand with guns that I've fired.
No, hold on. I did two separate topics.
No. Okay. Then what do I need to do for the second one?
Let's go with states you have traveled to.
Oh, okay.
Now, you can't say Illinois because everybody knows you were here for ICMI, and you visited me.
Yep, okay. All right, I've got it. Easy one. Missouri, New York, Vermont.
I'm actually not sure about this.
Yeah, that one's a tough one.
I am going to say Vermont.
Okay. Chat, what have you got to say?
Will Geary says Vermont.
Two say no Missouri.
Some are saying Missouri.
Two say New York.
I'm actually interested to see
You'd have
what
to
your
travel
answer
through
is.
Vermont to see New York? What?
No, you don't.
It's
Vermont is
the other way
further
around. You
north
have
than
to
New
travel
York
through New York to see
New York
Vermont.
State is.
Yeah. Yep.
Vermont is close to Canada, guys.
Yes. Vermont is on the Canadian border.
I mean, granted, so is part of New York, but
Yeah. Okay. I have never been to Missouri.
really,
I have never been to Missouri. New York and Vermont I went to on the same trip. I had the best breakfast I've ever had in a little hole in the wall in Vermont. And New York was just upstate. I've never been to New York City or anywhere like that. It was just upstate New York, pretty much.
Missouri is interesting. Past St. Louis, it is actually a beautiful state to drive through. I have been all over that state. Real quick, guys,
Yeah.
while we discuss states, if you have not signed up for the Inglewood Book 2 mailing list, I just put the link in the chat. Go sign up today. Reason being is that you have the opportunity to get a black and white version of the Donald DeLay cover that he did for us, plus a free trading card as well. And if you have not seen the cover yet, do let me know. I will bring it up while we're talking about this. But yeah, Missouri's nice though. I mean, I really like it there. I don't like St. Louis. St. Louis was kind of meh to me, but I like Kansas City a lot.
Yeah.
I've
been meaning to go to Missouri because I got a friend that lives in Springfield. So I've been meaning to head over that way, but I just never gotten around to it.
Yeah. But yeah, I've heard Vermont is really nice.
Oh God, yes, it's beautiful.
Whitest state in the union.
It's beautiful.
But
Vermont,
it's nice.
Yeah, well, Vermont, New Hampshire, those two, and I guess technically Maine too, but I haven't. I've been through, just the border, the New Hampshire Maine border. They're all really pretty, but I like that kind of mountain scenery anyway. The best looking state, I guess, most scenic state I've ever driven through though is West Virginia.
Okay.
I swear to God, West Virginia. Well, not counting Hawaii because it's fucking Hawaii.
Yeah.
But West Virginia is gorgeous.
Yeah. But yeah, St. Louis, or Missouri rather, like once you get past St. Louis, a lot of the state is forest. So you drive through in the spring and you roll your window down, like it's just like the cleanest air. Until you start getting to the Ozarks, and then it smells like standing water everywhere. Ugh.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the Ozarks, but the rest of the state is fine.
Yeah, well, Gary, I've been through most of New England at this point. I think the only ones I haven't been to now are Delaware, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. I think that's it.
Well, there you go. All right, folks. I guess everybody has seen the cover for Inglewood Book 2, which is good. Sign up though, guys.
Cool.
Seriously,
Hey.
you're gonna dig it. It's definitely going to be a fun book, that's for sure. So I would not recommend driving through Kansas. Not unless you got some energy drinks with you. It is a boring drive. I've driven through Kansas.
Same for Indiana. Indiana is flat as hell.
Indiana can be really boring too. Oklahoma wasn't very eventful either. Oklahoma was like there's nothing there. Texas is great. I love Texas. I can't say enough great things about Texas.
I've never been to Texas.
Oh, it's so awesome. I love Texas. I drove through a fucking hurricane.
Most of the Midwest, like the only, and I almost want to consider Illinois more a northern state than a Midwest state, but yeah, Illinois is about the furthest west that I've gone, not counting California.
Yeah,
that's it. I've seen the Eastern Seaboard. That's about it.
There you go. But yeah, I've been as far down as south as Texas and Bama, and Arkansas personally. Been to Florida. I like the South a lot. But I have not gone further west than Kansas City. Kansas City's the farthest I've gone. Actually, wait, no, I drove through Kansas. So through Kansas or through parts of Kansas, I've driven through, but that's about it. So I haven't gone to, I haven't been on like any of the rest of the Great Plains or this. I was born in the Southwest. I was born in Arizona, but I don't remember it. There's a lot of states I would still like to go through too, but I don't know if I'm ever going to have the opportunity, sadly. The goal is before I croak to visit every state at least once. So. Alrighty, folks.
Yeah.
If you have not already, again, I put the link in the chat for the Inglewood Book 2 sign-up sheet. Needless to say, it's going to be an awesome book. Donald DeLay really knocked it out of the park with that cover. It was so nice, like, when he sent me the inks, I'm like, dude, like, we need to sell this as a black and white. So get that for sure. The Indiegogo for that will probably go live in May, late May. And then the book will probably be done in the late fall. So the guys are actually working on it right now. So right now we're just getting test pages done and then by the time we actually get started, we'll be ready to start doing like weekly work. So yeah, it'll be good stuff. So appreciate everybody for stopping by. If you didn't hit the like button already, please do so. Hatman, any final words before we take off?
Yeah, I've got 2 wings that I need to eat and not a whole lot of time left to eat them.
There you go. All right, folks. Appreciate all of you. Until next time, my name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, and speed eating is about to become a thing.
Indeed. Y'all have yourselves a great night and a great weekend. Until then, Davis Volt.
Davis Volt.